So it's WrestleMania week. Happy WrestleMania week. As a pro wrestling fan, it's the biggest week of the year, isn't it? It's the week that everyone looks forward to, and what a week we have ahead of us. We have pro wrestling on every single night, and not just on every single night, that's WWE on every single night. We've also got AEW, we've also got Impact Wrestling. It's going to be a really, really busy week, a really fun week though, and it's the biggest week of the year to be a pro wrestling fan, so it's very exciting. But speaking of WrestleMania, we do know another name that is going to be part of the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Of course, that airs on Tuesday night. It's going to be none other than rock icon, rock legend, UK's own Ozzy Osbourne. He is set to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, future WWE Hall of Famer Ozzy Osbourne will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is confirmed by Dave Meltzer. Now, according to the report, Osbourne was part of the combined 2020 and 2021 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He did not appear in person at the ceremony. That was taped a few days ago. I think the 2020 ceremony was taped on one day. The 2021 ceremony was taped on a separate day. It's going to be airing Tuesday night on the WWE Network. I think I will do a watch-along for it. If you want to have a watch-along for it on the channel, let me know in the comment sections below. I'm thinking of doing it. It's going to be interesting how to do the watch-along, because you're not going to really be calling any action, which is when I do these watch-alongs, you kind of call the action that happens in the ring, you react to what's happening on the screen. It's a bit more difficult to do that for a Hall of Fame induction ceremony, because it's a lot of talking, and the problem is when you're live streaming, you're having to interact with the community, look at the live comments, look at any super chats, stuff and like that coming through. But I think I might do it. I'm thinking of just going, I mean, we've got so much live streaming we're going to be doing over the course of the next 7 days or so why not, right? But if that's something you want to see, you can let me know in the comment section below. But as I mentioned, Osbourne was part of the combined 2020 and 2021 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He did not appear in person at the event, but he did record a video message for the show. Ozzy Osbourne does have a long history, of course, with WWE. This goes all the way back to WrestleMania 2. He and Captain Lou Albano, also a WWE Hall of Famer as well, managed the British Bulldogs. Of course, one half of the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith, is being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. He was meant to be part of the 2020 induction ceremony class. And as I mentioned, at WrestleMania 2, Ozzy Osbourne and Captain Lou Albano did manage the British Bulldogs during their match against Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Greg the Hammer Valentine at WrestleMania 2. In 2007, he performed live at a SmackDown taping in Baltimore. The reason why is because his song at the time, I can't remember what the song's name is off the top of my head. I know because I actually really like the song and I had it on Spotify. I think I still probably do have it in one of my playlists. I'm such a pro wrestling mark. This is such a tangent, but I'm such a pro wrestling mark that whenever you hear a song that you really like for, say, a pay-per-view or a TV show or even a theme song, my Spotify, my playlist is full of them. My playlist is absolutely full of them. It really is. I just can't remember what that song was called, but either way, the reason why he was at that SmackDown tape and he performed that SmackDown taping in 2007 was because that year the song that he was promoting at the time was the Judgment Day theme song for that pay-per-view. So that's why he performed then. And in November 2009, he was also the guest host for Monday Night Raw during the guest host era of Monday Night Raw, when it was a knockoff version of Saturday Night Live, and every single week you had a celebrity host who was the general manager for the evening. In fairness, considering that whole gimmick was it was a disaster. It really made Raw car crash television. But it was interesting whenever and this is just par for the course when any celebrity gets involved with pro wrestling anyway, or WWE, I always find it fascinating as to who gets it. Who understands its entertainment, who understands that you have to be over the top, who understands that you have to be larger than life, and who just has fun with it. And not a lot of celebrities get it. And I think in fairness to Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne that were there that night, I think they got it. I recall vividly that night, there's a couple of things I remember from when they were guest hosting Monday Night Raw. One, and I think they were there to promote, I think it was Ozzy Osbourne's autobiography at the time. One is that Sharon Osbourne was doing an announcement for the main event. And I think DX were out there at the time. And essentially, they had to whisper to Sharon Osbourne, like, the names, and then she would just repeat it. And they said, it might be Shawn Michaels or Triple H says to Sharon Osbourne, Kofi Kingston, and she just goes, Kobe Kingston. And I know it's really tedious, but it was just very, very funny. But of course, I think the thing that probably people remember the most from when Ozzy Osbourne was the guest host of Raw in 2009 is they had a Raw's Got Talent segment, which usually, in fairness, you know me on the channel for a while at this point, you know that I would roll my eyes at that, and I did. You know, it was a ridiculous segment. I'm never a fan of that because it's WWE scripted comedy, and it's not good. It never is good. But what was good about this segment that Ozzy Osbourne had was that Chris Masters, Chris Adonis, whatever you want to call him, Chris Masters came out. He was still on the roster at the time. He came out, and to Crazy Train, right, iconic Ozzy Osbourne song, he moved his pecs in time with the beat. And it was incredible. It was incredible. I mean, it was something that was honestly like fitting to be on America's Got Talent or something at the time. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of those shows. It's Britain's Got Talent over here, and you've got Simon Cowell and all that nonsense and that rubbish. It's not my deal, but it was funny. I mean, it was funny, and it got a pop from the crowd, and I remember it vividly because Ozzy Osbourne was there. You know, his eyes were like that, and he was shocked by it. And he gets on the microphone and goes, "Oh, that guy needs a bra." And it was very funny. So the other names, of course, that are to be inducted into the 2020 and 2021 WWE Hall of Fame classes include, as I mentioned, the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith, John Bradshaw Layfield, Jushin Thunder Liger, the NWO, which is Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac. You have the Bella Twins, William Shatner. Warrior Award winner is Titus O'Neil. I don't know, have they actually announced that? I haven't seen the announcement. If so, I must have missed it. I mean, it's been a busy bank holiday weekend, but I haven't seen that. Maybe they'll announce that tonight on Raw because the pictures are out there at this point. I don't know if WWE themselves have officially. I don't think WWE themselves have officially released any pictures, but the people involved in the induction ceremonies, whether it was Hulk Hogan, Sean Waltman, lots of people, the Bella Twins, obviously, they've all been sharing their photographs of them being inducted. And I don't know, and Titus O'Neil was part of that class as the Warrior Award recipient. But I don't know if WWE have actually announced that yet. That's something to pay attention to because I haven't seen that. Of course, and then when you get into the 2021 class, you have Molly Holly, Eric Bischoff, Rob Van Dam, Kane, the Great Khali. Of course, they're all parts of the 20 and 2021 Hall of Fame induction classes. So there you go. Ozzy Osbourne's part of it. Now, obviously, I know this will get a lot of discussion because the celebrity inductions always do. And I'm probably, and I will forewarn you here, this is probably going to be a bit of bias from myself here because Ozzy Osbourne, I'm a big Ozzy Osbourne fan, I'm a Black Sabbath fan, I'm a huge fan of his work, and I'm a huge fan, I was a big fan of the Osbournes reality show. I thought it was hilarious. Not necessarily the Sharon Osbourne or the children, the Jack Osbourne, stuff like that. This Ozzy Osbourne, he's just such an unbelievable character. He is, I mean, just insane. He is obviously absolutely out of his mind insane. So I'm a fan of Ozzy Osbourne. I'm an Ozzy Osbourne mark, as they would say anyway. So I am a bit skewed on this one. So when I saw that he was to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it. He does obviously have history. I think more history than, say, a William Shatner. When I saw the William Shatner induction, I was that was one where I went, I feel like you're clutching at straws. I mean, you're talking about William Shatner, who appeared on an episode of Raw as part of the King's Court, and then I think he came back, was it the following week or something like that? And I know he did actually induct Jerry the King Lawler into the Hall of Fame. That was in 2007, I think it was. Yeah, for me, that one is a bit of a stretch. I mean, Shatner, is Shatner in his 90s? Is that right? Is he in his 90s now? I mean, he looks great. I mean, he looks unbelievable for it in his 90s. I'm saying that. I have no idea if he actually is in his 90s. I should check that. I mean, this isn't a live stream, but bear with me because I'm pretty sure he's in his 90s. Let's check, because if he is, I mean, he looks unbelievable for being in his 90s. Yeah, he's 90. I thought so, because I saw his birthday the other day. 90 years old. Unbelievable. He looks great. But still, I didn't know if he necessarily had the WWE history, as it were, that was worthy of being into the Hall of Fame. But the whole celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame in WWE, that always brings up a point of discussion for people on social media. It brings up a point of discussion for people in general, whether or not they're happy with it. Do they think that there are certainly some Hall of Famers, or in that celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, that really don't deserve to be in there. Your Drew Carey's, those kind of people. I know Kid Rock has done quite a few songs, and you could argue that maybe he deserves it. Again, I think that's a stretch as well. But the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, you can't take it too seriously. And you have to realize what the Hall of Fame is. Over the course of the last few years, has it become more legitimate? And has it become more legitimate by adding in the real legends of professional wrestling and WWE? Absolutely. Once you start getting in the Bruno Sammartinos, the Bob Backlunds, the Ultimate Warriors, those names, Macho Man Randy Savage, of course, those names that were really the big names of people going, oh, it's not a Hall of Fame without this name, without this name, without this name. It has become more legitimate as time has gone on, and I credit WWE for doing that. The whole celebrity wing aspect, that's just PR. That's all it's ever been, is PR, because at the end of the day it is a television program, and they are trying to reach those fringe elements of mainstream media and mainstream PR. That's just what WWE does, and you just have to kind of accept it for what it is. If you're trying to compare Ozzy Osbourne or William Shatner being in the Hall of Fame to Vader not being inducted into the Hall of Fame or something like that, I feel like you're just making problems for yourself. Do I want to have Vader in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. Do I want to have Demolition in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. They are absolutely deserving names to be in the Hall of Fame. But sometimes you have to realize that they will get there. They will get there. And I know some people, it's like when the Great Khali was announced, and I did a video on this. I have no problem with the Great Khali being there for what he achieved during his career, because he was an attraction, and for the exposure that he generated for WWE and professional wrestling in Asia and in India specifically. Why wouldn't you have him in the Hall of Fame? I feel like he's absolutely deserving. But people who compare that, and they'll say, well, the Great Khali's in, but Vader's not in, you just have to go, look, these things, they will work themselves out. And I know that's not an answer that people like. I know some people respond to that going, well, I think that Vader should be in now and a Demolition should be in now. And it is overdue. Absolutely is overdue. Vader should have been inducted when he was alive. It's a massive shame that he's going to have to be inducted posthumously. And, that's just... You can't frustrate yourself too much with it. You can't, because they will get in there. They will get in there eventually. But I don't think you can compare an Ozzy Osbourne or a William Shatner to them. And you have to grade them on a different curve. You have to, because they're not pro wrestlers. They're celebrities, and of course there are other names. There are always going to be other deserving names, but you have to take it for what it is that year. I think the classes this year are really strong. One of the stronger classes. In fairness, in recent years, the classes have been really, really good. But this year, you look at it. Davey Boy Smith, JBL, Jushin Thunder Liger, the NWO, Bella Twins, Molly Holly, Eric Bischoff, Rob Van Dam, Kane, the Great Khali. Of course, Batista was going to be in there as well. Those are really strong names. And I credit WWE, because I think they've done a really good job with the Hall of Fame this year and for both years. And I know there's been lots of discussion about... there's been actually no inductors, if you will. There's just been video packages, and the speeches were only 5 minutes and all that kind of stuff. Again, you have to sometimes realize it for what it is. It is becoming more of a legitimate Hall of Fame, but also it's a television program, and it's just a part of a programming for WrestleMania week. I know that upsets some people, but you have to just take it for what it is, and that's the way to look at it. Take it for what it is. So I don't have a problem at all with Ozzy Osbourne being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his work, and I'm a big fan of him managing the British Bulldogs. I love that image, because of course they were 3 Brits there, and I thought that was fantastic. So congratulations to him, and I'm already looking forward to the Hall of Fame on Tuesday night. But of course, as always, it's just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on Ozzy Osbourne being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling in the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community. Drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to smash a like on the like button too. It really does help us out here on YouTube, go up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestling News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. As I mentioned, it's WrestleMania week and we're going to be doing a ton of videos, a ton of live streams, a ton of watch songs, so now is the best time to subscribe. So be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, click the notification bell. You'll be notified every time we upload a video or every time we go live. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.